Hey, this is Missy Hyatt, the Walking Riot, and I say that you need to save with Conrad. Jim Ross told me, you need to go with Conrad. He'll save you money. And he did. You guys helped me out great. And when I refinanced it and paid off everything, I think my payment was only $8 more a month. I probably saved at least over $30,000. They make everything so easy for you. Go to Save with Conrad if you want to refi your mortgage or anything with your mortgage. Just go to Save with Conrad.
Welcome to WHW Monday. Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson.
Jim Crockett First Arcade, 605 NWA. TV title, Cajun Omni, the Bunkhouse Stampede. Flair and Horseman, Garvin, Bogey, Magnum, Dusty, Express Tag Team. Turner, Bond, and Mid-South Joint World Championship Wrestling.
Talking about the great years of World Championship Wrestling, the NWA, and Jim Crockett Promotions.
Tony and Friends North, they win. Look, Schiavone's back again. World title split off center stage. Bischoff, Disney, Hogan, and Nitro. New World Order and the Crow. Thunder, Russo, Arquette, Champ, Vinnie, Mac, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch along, try not to laugh. Lowest rules can't pass. This wasn't the initial plan. Tom Zigg's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make a tip. Tommy, you come over here.
What happened when? WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm great, Conrad. How are you?
Man, better than I deserve. I want to apologize to everyone. I know I look and sound a little different today. This is our maiden voyage here on What Happened When, a new studio for me. I recognize now that I have a little bit of an echo and got a new backdrop coming, so have a little patience with me. We're going to get there. I got my IT guy swinging through on Thursday. We're going to try to dial it in a little more. So greatly appreciate all of you showing up and showing out for us here. We've got a fun show talking about Memphis today. Man, we've had so much fun watching these old commercials. We're going to do it again. But first, we should talk about something a little more recent. My goodness. Collision, Dynamite, Rampage, Forbidden Door. Man, you guys have been all over the place and some great shows. Like, Tony, you were fortunate enough to be there on the call for Okada Danielson, a true dream match for any wrestling fan, and maybe one of the greatest matches of all time in Ospreay Omega. How was it, dude?
Well, I've called so many matches, or been a part of so many matches, to put it that way, in my career. And when people ask me, is that the greatest match you've ever been a part of? I would say, yes, it is. And that's kind of a difficult statement to make because I don't recall every match I've done, obviously, because I've done so many. I've done a lot of great matches. The thing of it is, Conrad, is most of the matches that I remember doing are the bad ones. And the ones that have had issues, like, for instance, Sting and Hogan in Starcade 97. That sticks in my memory because of the fucked up finish. But as far as guys being able to perform and drama and fans being a part of it, I would say Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay was the best match I've ever been a part of.
Wow.
Now, I can also go back to Revolution in 2020 or 2020, right before the pandemic, when Omega and Hangman faced the Young Bucks. That was another one of the greatest matches. People ask me, what's my favorite match to call? It's still Hogan and Bossman from Madison Square Garden. It was a great match, but not because of the match so much as because it was my first time calling a big match at Madison Square Garden. So there's a lot of reasons this is one of the best matches ever. To me, Kenny Omega is one of the best performers I've ever been around in my life. And Will Ospreay, I've seen some of his matches, but not as many as a lot of people who've followed New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I have such a respect for both men. And I knew going in that this was going to be something. I knew going in, this could be something special. I knew going in when I saw the card that Okada and Danielson deserved to be the main event, but that Okada and Omega would steal the show. I knew that was going to happen, and I think most people did too. I do also want to say that being a part of an Okada match was one of those moments that you'll never forget, and being a part of any Bryan Danielson match is a special, right? Especially when he worked the last part of that match with a broken arm.
It's unbelievable when you really think about it.
Yeah, and he put that stretch plum on, or whatever we call it, the bell lock on, with a broken hand, and he put this first hand in, and then he was doing this, and of course now we don't know if he's working or not, right?
Right.
At this time, and he does this, and he does this, and he forces his hand to lock under that much pain. It's a unforgettable moment. It really is for me. I'll remember that because I was right there seeing him take the second hand and hook him and stretch that label lock on. And then I've seen the x-rays and I know how bad the break is. It's a severe break.
It's horrible. And
yeah.
I mean, listen, when you hear that injury and then you see that x-ray, you're like, oh, this is somehow worse than I expected.
Yeah.
And he powered through, man. He gutted it out. What a show. Go out of your way to see it on replay if you haven't already. It's a history-making, record-breaking show for AEW, all-time gate record. And if you love pro wrestling, you will love that show. And if you love pro wrestling, you'll probably dig Fight Forever. The video game that seemingly took forever to make is finally here, and to a lot of critical acclaim. I'm not a gamer myself. I've got a lot of gaming buddies. They tell me the gameplay is outstanding. It feels like one of those old games we grew up on, but of course it's got much better graphics and blah, blah, blah. Tony, have you had a chance to play it yet? You're a gamer. What'd you think?
I have not had a chance to play it yet because I haven't received my copy as of yet.
It's available for sale. You cheap motherfucker. You can go get it, you know.
Yeah, I know, but I wouldn't want to buy one that really a kid wanted, you know?
It's a digital download, Tony. You could just download it.
I wouldn't want to take up space on the digital spear that a kid may
just look in the camera and say, I'm a cheap motherfucker. And wow,
I'm a cheap motherfucker. Okay.
There it is. And that's fine. We love you for it.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, so check it out. Forbidden Door out now. Of course, we should also plug, we've got a couple of big things coming up, including Blood and Guts for AEW at the TD Garden in Boston. Tickets are available now, AEWTIX.com. But Tony, it was kind of under the radar for you this past week. Did you see that Starcast is coming back?
I did. It's going to be during Labor Day weekend.
All out before you know it. Of course, we know AEW is coming back to Chicago and the Chicago area for All Out. And we are putting the band back together at the original hotel that hosted Starcast 1 and Starcast 3 and a couple of Top Guy weekends. It's all happening right now. You can check it out at Starcast.com. Go ahead and reserve your room. And this week, this Friday, as folks are listening to this, they'll be able to buy their bracelets. We're going to have platinum bracelets, gold bracelets, and of course, general admission weekend passes. We're going to have a lot of fun, and it's going to be AEW heavy. So if you're planning on coming into town and making it an AEW weekend, man, we can help that make that dream a reality. You guys are going to have Collision that Saturday, of course. So I guess we'll back up. You got a Wednesday Dynamite in Chicago. You got Collision live on Saturday. Then you got the pay-per-view on Sunday. We're going to be around to fill out the rest of the weekend for you for Starcast. How about that? That should be fun, Tony.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's you guys that work on Starcast. Your entire crew does a great job of putting together these. And I do want to make one more comment, not necessarily about Forbidden Door, but about New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes.
Thanks to Eddie Kingston being with us a couple weeks ago, and thanks to getting to know some of the guys, I have a newfound respect, and I'm just getting more into Japanese wrestling than I ever have.
Okay.
So being able to, meet Okada and work with him. And of course, there was some other guys that I talked with backstage. Just a cool experience. Now, that being said, let's talk about Top Guy Weekend, because I was not there for that, but I was in Canada, which I'm going to go as we are listening to this. If you're listening to this on a Wednesday, I'll be back in Canada again at Edmonton. But anyway, so we're in Canada. You're doing Top Guy Weekend in Huntsville, and tell us how that was.
Man, it was fantastic. On Friday night, we went way interactive. Actually, all weekend was interactive. We kicked it off with trivia with Efren. Then we did a promo contest in front of the old JCP set where David Crockett held the microphone for you. And we had some judges out there, Shuley, Corey Ryan Forrester, Eric Bischoff, and myself. And we actually had much better promos than we had any right to expect. And then we did a fun karaoke with Rebel, and Rebel was doing her best Coyote Ugly, dancing around on the bar. That was a good time. And then on Saturday, man, we had to sober up a little bit. So we heard from Dick Cheatham, one of the chief accountants for Turner back in the WCW days. He knows where all the bodies were buried. Doug Dillinger was there telling stories as well. Hell, he has the shovel for a lot of those burials. And then we had Mr. Crockett and Eric Bischoff. After that, we did something totally different. We let our top guys go ahead and get their training gear on. That's right. They stepped between the ropes, and they were taught some things, the basics of professional wrestling, by the same guy who taught Vince McMahon, The Rock, and Kurt Angle, Dr. Tom Pritchard. We took a little bit of a break, and then we sat down for conversations with Conrad with Kevin Sullivan, one of the greatest minds in the history of wrestling. And then, man, what a fun way to cap off a Saturday. Game Changer Wrestling was in town. So we all scooted over there, had a great time. And then we capped it all off on Sunday with what I think will become a new tradition. Well, we started with a little Q&A with Road Dogg, but then we did something we called Top Guy Tussle after we had a little interactive game with Efren again. But Top Guy Tussle was a booking meeting with Kevin Sullivan and David Crockett and Jeff Jarrett and Ricky Morton and Eric Bischoff. But our top guys got to decide. They saw, here's our 5 heels, here's our 5 baby faces. So let's put together a card. We did in-ring promos. We had special ring announcers. We had somebody sing the doggone national anthem. And then they decided they wanted to crown a champion. So we scurried around and found a belt. It was fantastic. But what was interesting was the way it all unfolded for St. Jude's, because that was kind of the main event on Sunday as we shaved Eric's head for charity. We raised $13,500 there. And I knew that was a cool thing, but what I didn't know is how it was sort of God's plan, and I'm not saying that to be funny. Check this story out, Tony. We had 5 heels and 5 baby faces, independent performers, super talented guys like Corey Hollis and Adam Priest and Adam Jacobs and some of the very best in the South. And one of the guys had a travel issue and couldn't make it. It happens. No big deal. So we called our local friend who runs Rocket City Championship Wrestling. We were using his facility, and we said, hey, Barry, do you have anybody who could help us out today? And he said, yeah, man, the kid who helped yesterday with Dr. Tom, he's available. He'd love to do it. So Tiger Kid number 1 got the call and said, hey, I know you weren't booked this morning, but do you want to come down and wrestle on the show? Hell yeah. Okay, now the fans voted because they saw him yesterday. We want him to tag with Ricky Morton. Okay, cool. And then in the championship match, we want him to win. Not Cruel, the 7-footer from MLW, or any of the other guys. We want the new kid that we just saw yesterday, Tiger Kid number 1. We want him to win. They tell me after the show, hey, man, he's pretty upset. And I'm like, is he okay? Is he hurt? What's wrong? And they go, I don't know. He's very emotional. So when I see him after the show, I said, hey, man, I really appreciate it. He goes, no, you don't know what this means to me. I go, oh, yeah, man, wrestling's fun. He goes, no, I didn't realize this was all for St. Jude's. I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. He goes, yeah, my son came home from St. Jude's cancer-free 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
He went from not booked to on the show to tagging with Ricky Morton to winning the whole thing. And as soon as we raise his hand and give him the belt, Eric Bischoff steps between the ropes and shaves his head for St. Jude's. Man, we couldn't have wrote that. That's like out of a movie. It was a special moment. And then we all went to Dave & Buster's and watched the pay-per-view and saw one of the greatest matches of all time. So it was a fantastic show. Really excited to do it next year. Already got plans on how we can make it bigger, make it better, make it more interactive. Make plans to join us at Top Guy Weekend next year. Just go join over at adfreeshows.com.
Good stuff, Conrad. Man.
Isn't that crazy, dude?
Yeah, one of those meant-to-be moments, you know?
Yeah, it is. And, we don't talk like that a lot on the show. We're here to make you laugh and talk about dicks and farts, and we're going to do a lot of that. But the idea that, this was not our plan, it just happened. It was meant to be.
Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. I also want to bring up something that that I got, and I need to show it. This was, hang on a second.
Don't pull your taint here.
Too late.
Oh, I hate that.
Adam DeMoy, which is our resident heel and has a lot of heat right now, richly deserved, is also, he and I have become friends, and he's really, when you cut it away, he's really a good guy. He just tries to be a heel too much. And sometimes when you try to be a heel too much, you can step into some shit. Had this done for me, and I need to show it to everybody because it's really special. I sent you a picture of it yesterday.
Oh, wow. Look at that, man.
Yeah, this is, he had an artist paint this, and this is pretty much me.
Your career.
My career with Flair, Dusty, Sting, the Macho Man, and the WWF logo, and then Kenny Omega over here on this side. So I'm going to put this up in the Batcave. I called him and told him how much this meant to me.
It's amazing. It's really cool.
This is amazing, yeah. So,
and I'm glad to hear that a piece of shit motherfucker like that could actually do something nice for somebody.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So thank you, Adam. I told Adam, I said, I'm going to tell everybody, but it's going to spoil you. People are going to know that you really are deep down inside a nice guy and not a shithead. Did you see that dog run by?
Yeah, is that your dog or is that a hobo dog?
No, that's my dog.
Okay.
Hey, she's nuts. God almighty. And then there she goes again.
That was hilarious.
She'll do it again.
Yeah, we've seen, if you're not watching on YouTube, you're missing out. It's WHW on YouTube.com. Yeah. And before we get going today, Tony, I feel like, we've enjoyed a lot of music on this program over the years. And I'm not going to badger you about Tony Reed's rap or anything like that. But I will say, WrestleMania weekend, I found a song that I forgot to share here on the program. It's a wrestling song, Tony. Have you heard the Cody Rhodes song that's sweeping the nation?
There's no Cody Rhodes song sweeping the nation. Well,
it is here at my house because as I'm watching this, because I see it's online, it's on YouTube. I'm going to play a little clip. So far, it has 2 views. We're about to be view number 3. I think that's on this playlist. Originally, I had 157 views, and I'm confident I'm at least 50 of them. But, you share genius when you see it. This is from Mr. Logan Cooper, and we're going to take a listen to his song. This is Logan Cooper. The name of the song is Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes. Yeah. Great American Nightmare. Yeah. The Great American Nightmare. Better be aware, better be afraid, better watch out when Cody Rhodes is coming to play. He's going to wrestle in town, and if he comes to the show, then he's going to know that he's going to be the man when he goes. He's the new champion, and he's going to be Roman Reigns. He don't have to fear. He's going to be the Great American Nightmare. Yeah, and he don't even scare because he's the Great American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Yeah. Great American Nightmare. Yeah. The Great American Nightmare. Better be aware, better be afraid, better watch out when Cody Rhodes is coming to play. He's going to wrestle in town, and if he comes to the show, then he's going to know that he's going to be the man when he goes. He's the new champion, and he's going to be Roman Reigns. He don't have to fear. He's going to be the Great American Nightmare. Yeah.
This motherfucker spitting, y'all.
The Great American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. I'ma hit him like Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. I'ma hit him like Cody Rhodes. I'ma be the champion like Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes.
So shout out to Logan Cooper. I know the wife and I, sometimes when we're taking a road trip, she'll say, "Can you play that Cody Rhodes jam?" She really loves when he goes, yeah. That's her favorite part. So what'd you think of Logan Cooper's version of Cody Rhodes? Cody Rhodes.
First of all, Logan, congratulations for putting that on, recording that, and the effort you put into it.
Yes.
But that like really sucked.
Whoa. Now.
Yeah.
How dare you? First of all, that song is proof
Okay.
that you can do anything.
That anybody can rap. Right.
Well, it's proof. I mean, that song's on iTunes. That's not just a YouTube song. I found that on Apple Music. Like, that is proof. Everybody starts somewhere. You can do it. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Yeah. It's the best.
Well, I mean, look, you can put that beat, and I can go, Conrad Thompson.
Yeah.
Conrad Thompson.
Oh, shit. Are you going to do a remix
Conrad
right now?
Thompson. Conrad Thompson.
Okay.
Motherfucker. Conrad Thompson. Shit disturber. Conrad Thompson. Ric Flair's family.
Hang on. Let me get you an instrumental. There you go. Do it.
Shitty.
We got you a beat now. We're ready.
I know a man named Conrad Thompson. Conrad Thompson. Conrad Thompson got me into doing podcasts. Got me into doing wrestling. Doing wrestling.
Yeah.
Got me back into doing wrestling. My life is now fucked up. Doing wrestling.
All right, boys and girls, we have filibustered enough. I don't know what I expected, but that exceeded my expectations, and we hope we can keep that going for you today. We're going to watch some 4/20, 1985. April 20th, 1985.
420.
Wow, Look at you with the innuendo. And I know that our man behind the scenes, Dave Silva, has us locked and loaded. And I think you usually play a little countdown. You want to do a regular countdown today? You got one for us?
Yeah. You know what? I know that DJ Turnup has sent us a bunch of countdowns that I think I've got somewhere.
Hey, I met him this weekend, by the way, at Top Guy Weekend.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. He's a cool guy, isn't he?
The best.
Yeah, cool guy. So I don't have a DJ clip. So let's just do 3, 2, 1.
Let's do it.
In 3, 2, 1, play.
In the ring right now, Constant and Ashley for a one-fall 10-minute time limit match. Total weight 606 pounds out of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Iron Mike Sharp, his partner from the Ozark Mountains, J.R. Hogg. And going against him from Louisville,
How about
Kentucky.
J.R. Hogg? What a great name for a wrestler that is. J.R. H-O-G-G, as I understand it.
Iron Mike Sharp, I got to meet him when I was in the WWE. He was quite a character backstage. I didn't realize he was from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
You know, I want to give a shout out to Dave Milliken. I actually talked to him the other day, and he was sort of correcting you and I on some of the things we had talked about here on the Memphis show.
Oh, really?
And I said, hey, man, you know what we need? We need a resident expert. We just watched some Japanese wrestling from All Japan with an expert friend of ours, Eddie Kingston. We should phone a friend, have you jump on the show and sort of teach us some stuff about Memphis. Yeah. And he said, man, I'd love to. And then, of course, I sit down to record with you this morning, not exactly sure what the topic will be. And then I see, oh, it's Memphis. Shit, should have got Dave. So next time, we'll have Dave jump on with us and add some context to some of the stuff we're seeing. How about they're cinching up these side headlocks? Look at there.
Yeah, they're grinding them in. Absolutely they are. This one kid who's got the side headlock on looks like a very young Magnum TA in a way.
Yeah, I think that is that Steve Constance or is that Tim Ashley?
I don't know. This would be a Dave Milliken question. Yeah, let Dave join us. We're only charging $500 to be on with us.
Yeah, I'm for it.
Yep, $250 each.
You're gonna fuck around and make that a thing. You know that?
What?
Like people are gonna be like, "Can I come on? I'll pay $500," and they'll be like, "No, you can't." Yeah. And then you'll be like, "What are you talking about?" Yes, they can. Let's do it.
Yeah, we only charge you we'll charge you $1,000. Got to pay $500 to Angels Among Us, the animal shelter near us.
By the way, J.R. Hogg has finally tagged out. Iron Mike Sharp is there. Yeah. You spend any time with Iron Mike in WWF? Yeah. I know you guys used to shower together.
No, I mentioned that I got to meet him, and he was like, Iron Mike was one of those guys in the backstage area that was like talked real loud, and everybody would say, "Hey, Mike, what do you want? God damn it!" Things like that. So, yeah, he was something else.
They would do that just to have fun and pop themselves.
Yes, pop themselves
with how loud he was.
Yeah, nothing like popping themselves.
Cody Rhodes. It's going to be stuck in your head all day long.
Yeah, man. I know it is. Yeah.
He's the champion, and he knows when he shows that he goes. He's the best. He's the best. He's the champion. Cody Rhodes.
So you know the lyrics. A lot of those lyrics I couldn't keep up with.
Yeah. But he don't know what he said. That's what makes it so great.
Yeah.
Remember that movie Life? He don't know how strong he is. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes.
There's a movie called Life. I know there's a game called Life. I didn't know there's
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal too. It's got Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy.
Okay. Hey, so what year was this from here?
1985. Kayfabe is still very much alive, and of course, WrestleMania is a thing. It's about a month old at this point. But these folks down here in Memphis, they don't give a shit about that.
You know what else has just debuted? I don't know, 2 weeks before?
Crockett on TBS.
Crockett on TBS, which kind of changed the NWA.
Changed wrestling.
Yeah. Wow, how about that? So, yeah, this is quite a time.
By the way, I had a great time hanging out with Ricky Morton and David Crockett. David Crockett is like the unofficial mascot, I think, at this point for adfreeshows.com. Like, he is a beloved dude. People love him.
I'm so glad that you and David got to meet each other and work together, and you were able to work with him. Yeah, David was always, of course, I was closer to Frances because she's the one that hired me originally. And she had such a sweet disposition. Well, she could be surly, as you know. I've married a woman, so I know how women can be at times. Surly.
Wow, that's hurt. Yeah. That's rude. But okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How's Megan doing? Okay.
She's asleep. Lord bless her.
Okay, so anyway, but Frances was always. But then David was always the one that was the happiest in the family. Jimmy was serious. Jackie was an incredible character. But David was always one that was happy and go lucky. So I know I'm talking around this, but I'm glad you made him a part of our family.
Oh, that's me really too, good. Man. Me too. I want him at everything we do from now on, forever and ever. Amen. You know, I was supposed to be in Australia right now, Tony, but I managed to fuck.
What were you going to do in Australia?
I was going to do a live show with Scott D'Amore, and do some meet and greets and catch some Impact shows. And it was really going to wind up, I only was going to work 2 days, but I was going to be there 9 days with Megan. And then somehow over Father's Day weekend, I managed to fuck up my Achilles somehow. And so they put me in a walking boot, and it's on my right foot, so I can't even drive. So once Megan had taken the time off work, she's like, hey, if we can't go to Australia, I already taken the time off work, we're going to do something. So we came to the beach, and she had to drive me the whole way here because I can't drive. It's on my right foot. You know, that giant boot would press both pedals at the same time. Really? Anyway, I'm saying all
that and 2 bottles of vodka in you, but go ahead.
Well, I didn't get the 2 bottles of vodka in me until I got here, you see.
Right.
Drinking while you're driving is not nearly as cool as it used to be.
No, I wouldn't say you were drinking and driving. You would have Megan drive because you're just full of bullshit and liquor. But go ahead.
Bullshit and liquor.
That's a combination, isn't it?
I'm full of bullshit and liquor is a new shirt available now at lowestrules.com.
I like that. That's a good line.
Dude, I mean, I'm going to have them put that on my tombstone.
Yeah.
Here lies Conrad Thompson. He was full of bullshit and liquor.
Double drop kick on a fat ass Santa Claus. Look at that, buddy.
How dare you disparage the good goddamn name of J.R. Hogg? Hey, let's track it here.
31. 5:31. Son of a gun, that's the way it is. We got a lot of action. Don't you dare go away. We're going to be back with it in just one moment.
Dave and Lance were just so cool, weren't they?
Dude, that intro and outro music.
Oh, here we go.
You know who sells the best-selling car? Not only in Memphis, but
Cody
America?
Rhodes.
Who
Cody
sells the car that changed people's minds about buying imports? Your Memphis area Chevy dealer. The car? The front-wheel drive Chevy Cavalier. Now with an exciting new feature, 8.8 GMAC financing. Chevy Cavalier. The price, just $66.06.
Oh, my
At
God.
your Memphis area Chevy dealer. Isn't it great to love a car you can afford?
Where I sit, the most important thing you can do for your car is to change its oil regularly. Right now, you'll save big on Napa's best 10W40 motor oil. And if you change your oil, you should change your oil filter, right? Your Napa man has Napa oil filters on sale for just $249. These are Napa's best filters, made to keep your engine running better. Save big on Napa's best 10W40 motor oil for 69 cents a quart, and Napa oil filters just $249. Make a change to the best. Make it Napa brand new.
It's true. There is a difference. I proved it to myself.
Service merchandise?
At Walmart, we want you to compare. Our low prices really
I like the hairdos.
Walmart doesn't
I think
discount
Lois
just
is
a few
rocking that
items.
one right
we
now.
discount every item in every department every day. True discount prices every day. That's savings at your convenience.
That's savings.
That's real savings. That's Walmart.
That's real savings. That's the Walmart way.
This is Furniture Center's biggest super sale ever, and I want to show you how we can save you hundreds of dollars on this lovely 5-piece dining room suite. Featuring country charm styling plus quality craftsmanship and design, we dare you to compare this pattern and price at any other store. You'll find true savings at our super sale price of $4.99, a savings of $200 or more. Plus, you get free delivery, free setup, and 6 ways to pay at Furniture Center's super sale.
All right, let's do a timeout right there, Tony. Before we get back to the action, let's hit a pause. I got to tell you something that happened. I actually got some hate mail about us making fun of the rent-to-own furniture commercials.
Well, you know what? Fuck them.
Well, I mean, the guy was not happy with me or you at all. I'm gonna see if I can find it. But first, I figured since they're doing a commercial, we should do one too. And if you're like him and you have a hard on for me and Tony, I wonder, is it just because you like the way we try to make you laugh? You like the way Tony freestyles Cody Rhodes, or are you taking a little too much BlueChew, my friend?
Oh, man.
You see, BlueChew is supposed to be fun. That's what I think of when I think of BlueChew. Tony, when you think of BlueChew, what do you think of first?
Well, I think of this podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we've kind of, or they've kind of hitched their wagon to us.
Well, I'm glad they have.
Yeah.
next year, a little tweak for Top Guy Weekend is going to be before we have Rebel come out and do karaoke on the bar.
Yikes.
I might go ahead and just send a friendly email reminder. Hey, Rebel's here, and BlueChew.com, and use our promo code WHW. Get your first shipment for free. Just see, don't you want to be impressive? Don't you want to leave a lasting impression? Don't you want to be ready in case you get the hot tag? Well, think of Blue Chew as like a hot tag for your wiener that delivers you the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but a chewable form and a fraction of the cost. So what we're saying is, if you want to get your ding dong real hard without spending a whole lot of money, is there anything better than affordable hard-ons? See, I knew the answer. No. Take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. Now, the process is simple. You take your wiener over to BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, do a little show and tell, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. And the best part, it's done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversation, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, prepared and shipped directly to your door, all in a discreet package. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex, so discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it, shall we? J.R. Hogg would be proud. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code WHW at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com. The promo code is WHW, and you'll receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring today's podcast. Now, Tony, you and I know, but we haven't shared with the audience, before we clicked record today, which was about 36 minutes ago, we had you take a Blue Chew. Do you want to make the big reveal and show everybody your massive J.R. Hogg? I do not. That's something that's kind of personal. Okay. Do you have your tape measure handy? I do not. In the spirit of Pinocchio, can you turn your head to the side and show us a side profile of a before and after if Pinocchio took a Blue Chew? Okay. Okay. If Pinocchio took a Blue Chew, yep, it would be normal. Right. And it would be Blue Chew with a couple of branches sticking out of the end. Wait, no, I want to let everybody know, no branches will grow out of your ding-dong. It's just going to be as straight and hard as it can be. There will be no branches. That's not a side effect. BlueChew.com, promo code WHW. And Tony, with that in mind, I say we get back and see what old Lance and Dave are doing here in Memphis. Okay. In 3, 2, 1, play.
10-minute time limit match from parts unknown at 227 pounds, the Invader. And going against him from Hartford, Connecticut at 230 pounds, Jerry Oski. This match won full 10-minute time limit. Jerry Calhoun, the referee.
Bell time, and we're off and running as Oski is out against the Invader in there.
The Invader here, as I understand it, is just somebody who had a mask. It's not like a regular. Yeah, sure. Jerry Oski, I think we've talked about him before. He was a nice-looking young man. We have, yes, sir. Yeah. It's a wonder he didn't get a bigger push somewhere. Well, hey, I want to say hello to everyone who's joined us live here this morning. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, Coach Rosie Lopez is with us. Coach Rosie was the first one here. Gavin Napier is here. Let's see who else. Yambag Jones has joined us. John Hickson. Josh Fields, and I wasn't so sure, but Coach Keith Morrison is here. He got on, he messaged everybody early, and then I didn't hear from him for a long time, and I thought maybe Coach Keith had fallen asleep again, but no, he's back. He just sent a message out. So, hello to everybody who's joined us live this morning. Super hello to everybody. Man, we had so much fun at Top Guy Weekend. I know it was a bit of a disappointment that we didn't know the AEW schedule, and frankly, nobody did at that point. We could have never predicted that Collision would be announced and become a show, and it would actually be on the second episode by the time we were doing it. Of course, the original plan was you would hang out with us Friday evening and maybe a little bit Saturday morning and then head up for Forbidden Door, and it just didn't work out. But had we done it the week prior, well, it would have been Father's Day weekend. So it was one of those deals where we just had to pull the trigger. So, hey, we missed you, but we had fun.
Yeah, I was really disappointed because I'm gonna go back and talk about for a little bit the first time and this was a very small group. The first time we had a get together in Huntsville.
Yep.
And it was for Low Key Big Hog weekend.
Yes,
and
sir.
This was before Top Guides. This was before ad-free shows.
That's right.
And it was a small group, and we improvised a lot of stuff, but we had a great time, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
I mean, we did a lot of things. We went to comedy club. We had a great a soul food dinner. We went bowling. We had a couple of special guests. We got the hotel pissed off at us because we brought in booze.
How about Tommy Rich walking into an Italian restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody say something about lasagna.
Tommy Rich was the highlight of that whole weekend.
So fun. And we had Ernest the Cat Miller. We had Tracy Smothers.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
It was great. It was so well done. And that reminds me of the early years of putting together a podcast and getting to know people. And we have developed, I think you would look at that slingshot Tully-like suplex.
Yeah, man.
I think what we developed is a group of friends.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. Right.
And what's cool is, man, I think this Top Guy weekend inspired people to do stuff. We had, I don't want to necessarily throw it out there. But I'll just say this. I don't want to say names because that might be their private business. But one of our guys was so inspired because, we had a referee thing. So you could watch the matches being agented and put together, or you could, sit with Mr. Crockett, or you could sit with the referees and pick their brain. We had a guy who was there who's like, you know what, I'm going to pursue this. And he started working to be a referee on the independents already. And I mean, part of that experience with us is what pushed him in that direction. So it's really, really cool. Oh, take a look at this. It's Lanny Poffo. Let's track it.
Lanny Poffo. His opponent making his way up toward the ring right now. It's a 1-fall, 10-minute time limit match from Memphis, Tennessee at 235 pounds. Introducing David Haskins, and going against him from St. John's, New Brunswick, Canada, 235 pounds, Lanny Poffo. This match, 1-fall, 10. Jerry Calhoun again will be your referee.
So, man, Lanny Poffo, this is pretty cool. Now, this is before the WWF gets hot. This is before Randy Savage goes north. This is really, really cool to see, man.
Yeah. Lanny had such a great sense of humor. And I had, I'm thinking this is right after we started the podcast, I guess maybe 2017. I made an appearance at a show, and Lanny Poffo was there, and Lanny and I got to talk to each other. Of course, he's since passed, but he had such a great sense of humor, was a funny guy. And Lanny also told me, he was very honest, and I think it's well known now that, he knew why he got a paycheck from WCW all those years.
Of course.
He told me, he said, I know why I got one, and I happily took it.
Why would
and I
you
said,
not?
good for you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I had a lot of time for Lanny Poffo. I have a lot of time for most people, but for most people that I work with in wrestling, I don't think there's anybody better than Eddie Kingston.
He's your favorite.
Yeah, he's my favorite. We all went to see recently when we were in between Toronto and Hamilton. We went to the Blue Jays game. Saw the Blue Jays play the San Francisco Giants, and Eddie was there.
By the way, I had been drinking when you FaceTimed me that day.
Yeah,
as you could tell.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I just assumed, because our man Eddie was wearing a hat and glasses.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I thought, and it wasn't until the next day I realized that wasn't Jeff Jones. Because in my head, okay, Tony's out and about, hanging, seeing stuff, doing stuff, and he's FaceTiming me. It's got to be my buddy Jeff Jones. And I was like, man, Jeff's beard, it's thicker than I remember. And then it clicks. It was like, wait a minute, that was Eddie. So
yeah,
hope you guys had fun, man.
We did, and I I was taking pictures, and one picture I took of Eddie, I said, Eddie, pose for a picture. And of course he went,
yes.
You know,
that's all Eddie knows how to do. That's how Eddie takes pictures.
And by the way, Eddie's going to get back on with us here soon.
With internet. I have it on good authority.
Yeah.
That the brains of his household will be there to make sure.
Yeah, Karen will make sure it's on. Okay, here we got Lance
Let's
Russell.
track Lance here.
There's no easy touch. And the misdirection and all came through with Popo. Jerry Oski. Jerry, we've been calling you by the wrong name, Oski. I wish you'd have said something sooner.
Well, me and Jerry did the Jerry Lawler show last week for today.
Yeah.
And we corrected it on there, so it'll be short time till everybody knows it anyway.
I got to say one thing. I don't care whether it's Oski, Oski, or what. You're still winning, partner, and I love it.
Well, thank you, Lance, and I love to be here. I came out to say we're down to business now. One thing and one thing only. I'm going to be the next Mid-South champion. I don't care how long it takes me to do it. This time is one thing I've got plenty of.
Well, of course, that the Macho Man is the guy with a title right at the moment, and of course Lawler is looking for him, and he hey, come on now, Lanny. Hey,
I don't mean to insult you. I'm not trying to insult you, but you're an incoherent, babbling fool. Okay, now let's keep it civil. Let's have a little.
Please, let's do that.
A little propriety. No man comes to the Macho Man except by me. All right? Now, you've got some good credentials. Your biceps are a little larger than your brain. Now, if you're man enough, I'm going right into the ring. You follow me in.
No.
Well, you just lead the way, buddy. Let's go right now.
No, Jerry, we're not going to have it. Let's take a break right now. I don't want it. No,
we're not
going to
take a break.
We're not going to get in any of that.
Wouldn't be prudent. Dude, now I don't mean to insult you. All due respect, you're a babbling fucking idiot. So good.
Incoherent, babbling fool.
What is this?
Oh, I'm sneaking in the car with her.
I hope nobody tries to attack her.
Don't take it out on your battery. Tune up for fast starts at
Sounded look like the setup for the Terminator.
Computer analyzed and expertly tuned by certified mechanics you can talk to. A 30-minute guaranteed tune-up at Expert Tune costs less than a new battery. Expert
The
Tune.
tone of that
For starters.
battery commercial. Don't get attacked.
She's a bull. Come see, our party has more. The bull has more taste than beer. The Schmidt more liquor bull gets a smooth.
God damn it.
It makes a good time great. Don't say beer, say bull. Hey, let's order another bull. No one does it like the bull.
Schlitz.
Good commercial.
Discover the quick response and smooth performance of Exxon Extra, our highest octane unleaded premium gasoline ever. Its extra boost of octane quiets the knocks, silences the pain.
Quiets the knocks.
Extra smooth performance. Exxon Extra, quality you can count on.
Double cheese, cheeseburger, burger, please. Seems like the times keep changing, but now an old-time favorite is back.
Double cheeseburgers back for McDonald's 30th birthday for a limited time.
It's always a good time for the great taste.
Double cheese cheeseburger, please.
A McDonald's.
To celebrate
Mary
our
Lou
30th
Retton.
birthday, McDonald's has a double good deal on our delicious double cheeseburger. Just 99 cents at McDonald's.
I don't want to be negative, but I got to say this. The crowd has their own opinion of Tux Newman, and here he is, entrepreneur, outstanding manager from the West Coast, Tux Newman.
You do show intelligence. You know, Lance Russell, a great orator once said, even a wrestler who is pure at heart and says his prayers by night can become a wild moondog when the moon is full and bright. You know who that orator was?
No, who is that, Tux?
Me! That's who it was. And with me right now is Moondog Rex. And you know that it took me a long time to acquire his services because you can't really even talk to him. You've got to kind of growl and grunt. That's what he understands, you see.
I know
and he
what he
smiles a lot. But you know why he is smiling? Because he knows that Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. Do you know who I've got my Moondog against?
I know, but let's tell them.
Let's tell them. Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich. Can you believe that?
Wildfire will be back in Monday night.
They call him Wildfire.
Right.
Now, you see, we're going to put out his fire. Here is a young boy who held the NWA Heavyweight Championship. I give him that credit. But what has he done since? Nothing! Now, you know what I have? I have a wild maniac who also was a champion, if these fans will remember, with his partner. They tore up the Mid-South Coliseum. Now, I have brought back the strongest of the two, and I'm talking about Rex right here. What do you think? What do you think that a puny little blonde wildfire Tommy Rich is going to do against this man?
Well, you apparently have forgotten a lot of other things about Rich, because Rich, when the necessity comes about, can get down with it, forget the rules like nobody you've ever seen. He's not going to be the only one who.
There's no such thing as rules in this match coming up Monday night. You know why? Because the Moondog's here, and the Moondog's going to eat him up, going to growl and going to snort, and going to chew him. And Tommy Rich, if you're watching, I suggest you bring everything you got to the Coliseum this Monday. Say goodbye to all your fans, because you're never coming back, Tommy Rich.
Okay, that's
Never.
fine, Tosh. We'll see him in the ring right
Tommy
now.
Rich,
David,
you're
we got the
doomed.
match. Yeah, I know. We got the match coming up. Let's see the Moondog in the ring, Dave.
So I don't know if you recall this, Tony, but do you know who Moondog Rex here? Do you know who's playing that character or what else he would do?
Oh, yeah, I do. Wasn't it Randy Colley?
That's exactly right. From Alexander City, Alabama.
And he also played Dead-Eye Dick in the Desperados for us.
And?
That's all I remember him doing.
Demolition.
Demolition?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was Smash starting in early January 1987. And even though he had cut his hair and shaved his beard, fans were chanting Moondog at him. So after just 3 appearances, they make a switch. Barry Darsow takes the spot fresh off of Crockett TV, and nobody chants Crusher at him or Khrushchev at him. And he's off to the races, man. But what could have been? I mean, this guy could have been teaming with the former masked superstar Bill Eadie as Axe. And of course, he would have been the original Smash.
Right.
Man, imagine how much more money this guy, who was a hell of a territory wrestler, imagine how much money he could have made with that Demolition look and persona and gimmick.
Wow. I a couple of issues here. Number one, there was a match that the two guys wanted to have, and Lance Russell said absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I thought it was one of those to where, oh, we're going to come back after the commercial break because you know they're going to have that match,
Right.
and they didn't even have it.
No.
Which is like, what, really? It's like, okay. That's like, I have a feeling, not trying to be the booker of the territory, but I have a feeling there's a lot of pissed off viewers that came back and saw this and thinking, what the fuck? What happened to Oski and whatever his name was? So, and second of all, those commercials.
Yeah.
The Spinners and Kool and the Gang. How fucking cool is that?
That's fantastic.
The Spinners, one of the great groups, man, of the 70s and 80s. Holy smokes. If you didn't like Spinners music, Jesus. Also, and I do need to say the Exxon commercial.
Yep.
With the tiger jumping.
You like that?
Yeah, I do. Coach Rosie said, I've never seen a tiger in Arizona, but what the hell? The tiger was the mascot of Exxon.
Mm.
The old, it used to be put a tiger in your tank. Before it was Exxon, it was called ESSO, ESSO. And the tiger was the mascot. So that's why they did that. So anyway, that's a couple of things. I ain't got anything else.
Well, I enjoyed the commercials. It's one of my favorite parts of what we do on the program when we watch these silly commercials.
Right.
Speaking of which, I guess we should give another little silly commercial to plug. I can't believe this is a real thing.
Okay.
But I'm like less than 3 weeks away from becoming a member of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, Tony. What in the world?
You are?
Yeah. How crazy is that, dude?
You deserve it, man. Look what you've done.
Dude, that is just straight up silly.
Well, okay. Yeah, it's silly because you're a silly motherfucker.
Yes.
But look what you've done. Step back for a second and take a look at this empire that you've built and how you've connected fans and how you've done things for fans. It's on a different level, but it's still doing things for fans like wrestling promoters do. Let me get this dog here. Kirby, come on. Get up here, sweetie. Get up here. Stop running around the house.
But dude, this class this year has J.J. Dillon.
There you go.
Jerry Briscoe.
Good.
John Nord. Tommy Rich. Baron Von Raschke. Ken Patera. Demolition. Marty Jannetty.
Yeah.
Haku. JBL. Thunderbolt Patterson.
Whoa.
Joe Malenko.
Yeah.
I don't belong in this.
No, it's based on contributions to pro wrestling.
That's a little crazy.
It's undeniable, dude. So enjoy it. Take it.
Well, I want to mention
tickets
are on sale now. Love to see you guys come out and support it. nwhof.org is where you can go and pick up tickets. It's $130. That includes 2 meals, a live wrestling show, and a ton of events, silent auctions, roundtable discussions, after parties, of course, the banquet. It's a loaded schedule. Let's take a listen to this video here, and we'll talk about the Hall of Fame a little bit later.
On the road again.
It's a Tommy Rich video.
Oh, man.
So they're going to commercial break there, but what a cool little promo that was for Tommy Rich. Just a handful of years removed from being the champ, too.
Wow.
Let's take a listen to this. Oh, Sprite.
What a mix!
Come on.
The taste of lime, the taste of lemon too. It tastes so limey and still it's caffeine free. 'Cause it's only Sprite for you. What a mix!
Right now at Kmart, our Glidden Spread Satin is on sale for just $7.99 a gallon. The important thing is, you could win one of 10 Jeep CJs. Glidden Spread Latex Enamel is only $10.97. Of course, there's no purchase necessary to win the Jeep. At these prices, we're practically giving away Glidden. We are giving away Jeeps. Good point.
You can't do better than Kmart.
So we had a Walmart commercial and it came. Oh, here's Domino's.
When you play the Domino's Pizza No Problem game, you can win some pretty nice prizes.
Hey, I want a free bottle of Coke.
Just rub off the question bar on your game card and match it up with the correct answer.
Hey, I want a free pizza!
There are over 8 million prizes, including
Hey, Roddy just won a Porsche!
5 Porsche 944 sports cars. Play the Coke Domino's Pizza No Problem game. 3 out of every 4 game cards an instant winner. Domino's Pizza delivers.
How to ride a Honda scooter. First, select shirt pant combo. We suggest this or this. Next, select appropriate shoes. We suggest 2.
Then choose a scooter that best expresses your individuality. There are many sizes and colors.
And always wear your helmet.
Honda scooters. They're everything but
Were they trying to do the whip it
Devo,
deal?
right?
Yeah.
Boy, it's been a while. The universal heartthrob, Austin Idol, coming to town.
Another video. I love it. So, Tony, what do you think of these old school promos? You know, promoting that a guy's coming to town. I mean, this really became like a staple and a trademark, a calling card, if you will. All those cliches for Memphis. The use of music videos. This is 85. Of course, we're using unlicensed music, much like ECW would. But, man, this is well done. It's not just in-ring action. We're showing, footage of him in the casinos and getting ready in the back in front of the mirror and hanging out in a hot tub. I mean, We're just trying to show these are cool guys. Was this working in 85, do you think?
Yeah, it was working because it's part of character building. Again, the way you get over is people identify with you, either good or bad. And that it worked. It still works today. I mean, we don't really do a video about a guy coming in, but we'll do a video on a guy after he's been in a much different way. But videos, as we call them now, packages,
yes,
are really a staple of pro wrestling. It's character building.
So you like a big package?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so
I knew that about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how about Devo on that commercial? Huh?
Dude, I mean, that was wild. Hey, so talking about the packages and the commercials and all that jazz, I do want to ask.
Yeah, go ahead.
What'd you think of that great touch a couple of collisions ago when the show started? Maybe it was the second episode, but we just see promos. As soon as it starts, it's backstage promos, and it almost felt like that old school 1980s Saturday Night's Main Event music bed underneath it. I got to tell you, as a fan watching at home, I was like, yes. I mean, that is just enough nostalgia where if you know, you know, and if you don't know, you're not hitting anybody over the head with it. I thought it was tremendous.
It was. We love it. We love doing it. Great touch. And because I'm one of the people that are backstage that, make sure that all those pre-tapes get done. And we call it backstage. Okay, who's doing the Saturday Night Main Event Open this week?
I love it.
That's what we call it backstage. So
you should.
Yeah.
We all know what it means. And I know it's like old, dated 80s music, but man, it checks all the boxes. Oh, let's track it here. What are we doing?
Wrestling coming to Memphis, the Mid-South Coliseum Monday night, and one of the reasons, one of the greatest box office attractions of pro wrestling, the Universal Heartthrob Austin Idol comes back to Memphis, Tennessee.
And I can't wait for, something, Charlie? Promoter Eddie Marlin called Austin Idol long distance in Las Vegas, Nevada, and he said, break all your commitments. He says, put everything on hold, because I'll pay you 10 times the amount of money that any other wrestling promoter will pay you for one single night in wrestling in the Mid-South Coliseum right here in Memphis, Tennessee. What do you think I said, Charlie? I said, bring on the Learjet, so we know Austin Idol's going to show up. We won't have to worry about no misconnections in the Atlanta airport. We know the Idol says he's coming. I'm coming to town. And you know something? I don't care who I'm wrestling. And I know the folks in Memphis, they don't care who I'm wrestling either. They say, is Austin Idol still rich? Oh, of course he is. Is he still mean? The baddest you ever seen. Is he still sexy? Oh, move over, Tom Selleck. Sit down, Burt Reynolds. And step aside, Sylvester Stallone. Because the one and only 242 pounds, Las Vegas, Nevada, the women's pet, the men's regret, is coming home.
So how about
in the ring right now for
old school promo announcing he's coming in? That's clearly a tape sent in from Southeastern. And I think we got Bobby Colt and Jim Jamison next. What did you think of that Austin Idol promo? Did you see much Austin Idol in your day?
Never worked with him.
Yeah.
It's one of the few guys I never work with. I like those old promos because we used to do those too. If a guy was coming from one territory to the next and he did a promo from the old territory he was leaving in front of their background, it made it seem bigger. It elevated it. And I remember doing a lot of those, like when we had, and this was back when I first started, when we had like, I don't know, for example, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer going back to Florida.
Right.
I would do an interview with him coming back to, Championship Wrestling from Florida, so-and-so, in front of our background. It was pretty cool.
Look at this. This is Randy Savage.
Russell, does he know about Nut Bockwinkel? What happened to him, man?
You know he knows all about it.
I am so excited about what has happened last week at the Mid-South Coliseum. It does my heart good just to see a man like this finally get what he deserves. It only took 7 weeks. Do you know that we defeated the AWA World Heavyweight Champion? Was Jerry Lawler ever able to defeat the AWA Champion? No, that's the answer. And I want all the fans to see the night that all this historic event happened. Can we show?
Yeah, this is Tux Newman's tape.
Before we show this, so look at this. Look, isn't this gorgeous? Isn't this beautiful? For once, Lance Russell, you show an honest tape of what happened. Now look at this. There he is, flat on his back. He's the winner.
Russell, tell Jerry Lawler that man. Make sure he knows. Time to back out. Yeah, time to back out.
Will you move him out of here?
It's true because Lawler's been saying if I don't beat Bockwinkel, I'll retire and all this garbage. It only took us 1 match, and we pinned the AWA World Champion to the mat. And I'm telling you that you are looking at the uncrowned World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion.
Well, you see in the ring right now, the Macho Man, Randy Savage. And just like the tape, it was not the entire match. So you didn't get to see what precipitated the 1, 2, 3. He did get a victory over Bockwinkel. We're ready for it. Let's go to Dave in the introduction.
So we're going to do a match now right away with Randy Savage. Mark Batten not going to be much of a threat for Randy Savage. It's so cool to see early Randy before he had, the capacity to buy a much improved wardrobe in the WWF. Yeah. But the look is still classic. I mean, if you have an old classic WWF Randy Savage figure, it looks just like this one as far as the tights and the trunks and all that stuff.
I think the pink tights were kind of part of his
trademark.
Trademark, yeah.
And the yellow boots too.
Yeah. I love Lance Russell. I mean, would you move him out of here?
Yes.
just Lance Russell was in charge of that TV show, and that's what people thought. I mean, they knew the Jarretts were running things, but they thought Lance Russell was in charge of that TV show.
Well, I loved when he was sort of giving that same impression, when he was talking about, oh, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that match. No, get out of here.
Yeah.
By the way, we've got a Randy Savage music video coming up after this. And then a promo from Lawler, and then a Lawler music video.
Wow.
And then a Savage Lawler video, and then the rundown for the card. It's going to be lots of videos, we're getting to the heavy duty of the ticket sales now.
Yeah.
I guess that's worth mentioning. Wrestling, like everything, continues to evolve. And back in these days, your television program was really an infomercial to get you to buy tickets to come down to the arena. And so they're doing all of this in an effort to get you to come to the Coliseum on Monday night, just, 48 hours after this or whatever.
Right. Yeah. It was all about, this is all about an infomercial to get you to come out.
And that's just not the case anymore.
Yeah. We're going to get to questions later, but Gavin wanted to know.
Look at that, dude.
Man.
Savage on top of the desk, Tux Newman on the mic. Let's listen.
I know what you've got, another tape, and I'm sure it involves the Macho Man. Okay, Randy. Yeah. Let's take a look at it.
I'll get to Gavin's question in a minute. Hang on a second. We'll see this.
Yes, will definitely give us a YouTube strike. But it's the Kiss song War Machine, which, by the way, years later, I don't even know that you know this, Tony, but in ECW, this was Taz's theme song.
Yeah.
I mean, what a badass song, too. Really checked all of the boxes for Taz. I like it for Savage, too. You had a question you wanted to hit?
Yeah, Gavin wanted to know, how did AWA get mixed up with Tennessee way back when? And I don't have an answer for that, but I know that that's, again, back... AWA got also mixed up with Crockett a little bit too. We had Nick Bockwinkel. Nick Bockwinkel came to some house shows with the Crockett's. I went to a show in Greensboro as a fan and saw Adrian Adonis and Jesse Ventura, the WWF Tag Team Champions, wrestle in the Greensboro Coliseum.
Wow!
And Greg Gagne and Jim Brunzell wrestled that same night. The AWA World Tag Team Champions. It made it like, a big-time card, right?
Right.
We got this promotion's Tag Team Champions, this promotion's Tag Team Champions. I can't remember who the NWA World Tag Team Champions were at that time, but That's how they would do. They would go to different territories and do things. And they casually mentioned Nick Bockwinkel here.
Yep.
They didn't really sell him that much because he was not a part of their territory. They sold Lawler a lot more than that. How about Tuck's not standing up, just sitting down in a chair at ringside?
A different time.
Yeah, I know. I never saw Tuck's either.
I think he was a Memphis guy.
Yeah, but he never did go anywhere out of Memphis.
Right. I think he was just sticking to that. By the way, they're going to a commercial break here.
The lowest prices if you don't have to prove it. Central prices are the lowest. Nobody can beat our rate. We're showing a new Whirlpool appliance, RCA TVs, VCRs at rates you won't believe. The best rental deals in town on RCA and Whirlpool. Shop around, get a price, then come and make me beat it. Over 20,000 satisfied Memphians have found the best deal at Central. I personally guarantee it.
Central, we make living easy. At Kentucky Fried Chicken, our Kentucky nuggets taste so good, you dip them in sauce a lot.
To dip or not to dip?
I think I'll go for a dip. But then again...
Dip. No. No, your nuggets.
Only our nuggets are made with the Colonel's secret blend of 11 herbs and spices, so they don't need sauce, but we've got it. So...
You can dip it or you can skip it. No, your nuggets. We do chicken right.
For a limited time, Mid-South, your GMC truck team brings you the Great American Truck in red, white, and blue. Special striping and logo, and its own Great American Options package at a great American price. So come on and show your true colors in a full-size GMC pickup or a GMC Jimmy. It's the Great American Truck, only at Foster, Mary, Pryor, Hudson Rook, and General Truck. Your GMC truck team, son.
I hate California. You know what I'm saying? It's like, have a nice day, surf's up. I mean, their idea of culture is yogurt. Formal dinner party means you wear socks. Blondes everywhere, pink tofu, soy burgers. I really hate it. I even hate what they drink.
Yeah, buddy.
One of those.
California cooler. One more reason to hate California.
What a great line. Let's take a pause right there, though, because I do feel like there's a lot of good news going around, and we should brag about some of that. Certainly, the good news being that you can feel better with our friends at AG1. My wife first encouraged me to start taking AG1 because she started taking it even before the pandemic started. But once the pandemic became a thing, she said, hey, maybe you should try this. And she knew there was no chance I was going to do it if it didn't taste good. And she goes, no, seriously, just have a sip. I did. Dude, it tasted great. And once I understood that this is going to be really like a foundational nutritional supplement, I mean, it supports whole body health. Whether you're looking to get more energy or you just want to cover all your bases, maybe you don't feel like you have time to take the right vitamin combination. Maybe you're looking to boost your immune support. Maybe you hate taking pills or vitamins. Well, dude, this checked all the boxes for me. I recommend it. I start every day. It's just one scoop and a cup of water. That's it. Now, my wife does it because she feels like she's more productive on her way to the gym. I do it because I feel like it makes me sharper longer. I feel like I'm more productive. I feel like I can focus longer. Seriously, I think you should try it. If you're looking for improved digestion, if you're looking for mental clarity and focus, if you're looking for sustained energy, AG1 checks all the boxes for you. There's 75 high-quality ingredients that give you all the key daily nutrients and support all that energy and focus and strength and clarity you need. Think of it as like a micro habit that delivers macro benefits. It helps everybody, and I mean everybody, take great care of their health every single day. And I think of it as like your all-in-one nutritional insurance. It's a win-win. And if a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go right now to drinkag1.com/WHW. That's drinkag1.com/WHW. Check it out. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. It's great stuff, man. I really, really, really like it. I think it tastes great. I can tell the difference. I stay sharper longer. It's been a home run for me. What do you think of AG1?
It's part of the morning routine here. It's great nutritional. It's got a great nutritional value. It really does. And we appreciate AG1 being with us for as long as they have. And it's my son Tim believes in it, man. He always, every time he comes to the house, he said, "Hey, you got any AG1 around here?" And I say, "Get your own, you sawed off little bitch."
Oh, well, that's the way you talk to the kids. And send them to drinkag1.com/WHW. And Tony, before we get back to the playback, because they're really going to start cooking with gas here on the program, we just listened to a lot of great commercials, including a rental commercial. And as I mentioned, I actually got a little bit of hate mail about this just a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And I forwarded the email to Silva. Scott, he calls himself Icon as his middle name.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to pronounce his last name. But Scott emails me, and the subject of the email is WHWFU.
Ah.
And the text here says, "You assholes need to stop bastardizing those that rent electronics and furniture from rental places. FU is you continue." Now, I don't know what FU is you continue means, but I don't think it's a compliment.
FU is you continue means he doesn't know how to spell nor write. That's what it means.
Or manage money. Let me just say this. As someone who's helped people do that for decades, do not rent furniture and electronics, please.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, don't finance that shit either.
Right.
Buy what you can pay a check for, what you can pay cash for. If you can purchase it and do that, then do it. But if you're really going to be talking about financing stuff, let's try to stick to like houses and cars if we must. Houses, right. I understand. But everything else, like I'm just telling you, if you go to a furniture rental place, Tony, you're not going to bump into a lot of successful people unless you bump into the owner. I'm just being realistic. Like, you think Tony Khan and Vince McMahon rent furniture? Wealthy, successful people don't rent furniture, and you shouldn't either. So, FU as you continue.
Yeah. So, and who, we get a lot of hate mail. And what's the guy's name? Scott?
Yeah. Scott, stupid ass Icon. Yeah.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself, Scott. And the horse you rode in on. And we make fun of a lot of, and if you get offended by anything that we do, then stop watching us.
And go fuck yourself. We don't give a fuck if you listen.
No.
You think we give a fuck if we're doing this for us. You're lucky enough to hear it, you sack of shit.
And go rent yourself an 8-track tape player.
How about rent that? All right. Rent to own that, motherfucker. So with that in mind, let's get back to our Memphis show here in 3, 2, 1, play.
We'll be getting to the entire card a little bit later on, but I'll tell you one thing that I am really looking forward to, and that is the return of the King, Lawler, who's been out of here for 3 weeks thanks to some brutality of Randy Macho Man Savage, will be returning. Let's take a listen right now to Jerry the King Lawler.
Well, I'm sure Randy Savage knows by now that the waiting is over. Let me tell you something, Savage. I want you to take a good look at this, brother. Because I've looked at it now for about 3 weeks. I've watched it over and over, time and time again. And at first I sat there and I looked at this kind of film and I thought, what could possess a guy? What goes through a guy's brain to try to pull a stunt like this? And finally I quit trying to wonder. I quit trying to figure you out, Savage. Because it's enough to know that you don't think. It's enough to know that you're a brainless piece of slime who goes in the ring, and just because a jerk like Tex Newman tells you to finish somebody and end their career, that's good enough for you. That's what you try to do. Well, let me tell you something, Savage. I'm back, brother. I'm back, and I'm well, and my neck is ready to go, and I'm sitting on dead ready for you, punk. And oh, sure, you put me out. You laid me up. And during that time, I had a lot of time to think. Some of the thoughts that went through my mind weren't too pleasant. I had a lot of people tell me, King, you've had a long career. You've had a good career. Maybe this is a good opportunity to hang up the boots, put the tights away, call it quits. And I contemplated that for a while, Savage. Till I kept watching this film. Till I kept watching those pile drivers. And then I knew, brother, it's no way. It's no way that this is going to be my last appearance in a wrestling ring. It's no way that the last time the wrestling fans are going to see the King, that I'm going to be carried out of the ring on a stretcher, and that I'm going to be put in the back of an ambulance, and I'm going to be hauled off to an ambulance. It's no way. I'm not quitting that way, I can assure you, Randy Savage. I got a lot of fight left in me, brother, and you're going to find out just how much Monday night. Monday night. It's been a long time since I could say that I'm going to be at the Coliseum, that I'm going to be in the ring Monday night, but I'm saying it now. And I know what you're thinking, Savage. You're thinking, I better get Tex Newman. I better get Lanny Poffo. I better get the PYT Express. I better have them standing on dead ready to hit that ring when Lawler takes out his vengeance on me. Well, let me tell you something, punk. I've asked some friends to be there myself. Tommy Rich, the Fabulous Ones, Austin Idol. They're going to all be there, brother, and they're going to be watching my back. So you have anybody you want. You have them set to run in that ring, because my men are going to be ready too. What it's going to boil down to, Randy Savage, it's going to boil down to me and you, brother. It's going to boil down to the Macho Man and the King. And I can promise you, I've been laid up for the last time. It's your turn now, Savage. And Monday night, I'm coming for two things. I'm coming for my title. And I'm coming to show you, Savage, that the King is not dead. There's a lot left in the King, brother, and you're going to find out just how much. Because if anybody sees an ambulance, if anybody sees the inside of an emergency room, it's going to be you, Randy Savage, come Monday night.
By golly, I'll tell you one thing. When Jerry the King Lawler has a special, it is in fact special, because here is a man that is an exception. He has done it all except win the World Heavyweight Championship. The King right now has on his mind the Macho Man who put him out of action for 3 weeks. Let's take a look now at the very special Jerry Lawler.
So we don't have to track the music. It's yet another music video. This is like our fourth one, I think. We've had one for Savage. We had one for Tommy Rich. We had one for Austin Idol. Now we got one for Lawler. And, man, that was a hell of a promo. I think a lot of wrestling fans probably just know Jerry from his WWF work, which is fine. And certainly if you watched in like 93 and you saw his feud with Brett, you know what the in-ring stuff is. But I think more and more fans these days think of him as a commentator. That was a money promo right there. That was good stuff.
Yeah, that was great. He knew what he was doing. That's why he became a big star in the WWF. And to me, though, he'll always be known as he and Andy Kaufman. That's to me Jerry Lawler. And also, by the way, all the VCRs he had up on top of the TV, were not rented. Just to let you know.
No, he owned every one of those.
No, yeah, he owned them all. Yeah.
Hey, let's do some questions. Smug Smuggler on Twitter wants to know, do you think the studio format would work for a show like Dynamite? With the shorter run time, it may be worth considering to set it apart. Of course, we saw studio wrestling a handful of years ago when Billy Corgan dusted off that concept, and it helped launch a lot of careers. I mean, that's really the first place a lot of fans saw guys like Ricky Starks or gals like Thunder Rosa, and certainly Eddie Kingston was there doing his thing, showing what he could do. I really enjoyed the studio format. Do you think that we could see the studio format return in the future somewhere?
No, I don't. Not on the big stage. I don't think television stations want to see studio wrestling anymore.
Makes it feel small, you think?
Yeah. So those are gone.
Here's
the NWA did it on YouTube, right?
Yes, they did.
So that's about as far as it'll go.
Let's track Lance here.
Here's a guy who's been so dedicated to professional wrestling, Davey, and I mean, he has been out for some time now. He's back, and he is ready, and he's got one thing on his mind at this moment. It's not necessarily belts or anything else. It is the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Let's take a look at what Savage looks like.
So they're doing another music video. We can cut it. This is a good one, though. This is really hyping up the Randy Savage, Jerry Lawler. Look at the this cool. This is great. If you're not watching, I want you to go look at this right now. WHW on YouTube.com. It was like a time-lapse video of them putting together a ring, and great production showing both guys, and the title. Like, this is well done, man.
Oh, I love the showing, putting the ring and showing the boards underneath. And,
yes.
Yeah. I'm telling you, ring building is an art.
It is.
Yeah. Klondike Bill was the one who taught me, and I saw what it took to put together a ring. We've got Bob, his son Bob, and Jerry, who put together the ring for AEW. They know what they're doing, buddy. Look at that little fire coming out that time.
Somebody say something about fired up.
Yeah. Yeah, all good stuff. There was another question. I think it was from Bobby. Had asked about the local commercials.
Yes.
And what order they come in. Did the wrestling show dictate what order they came in? There you go. Were they programmed in a certain order? Did a certain number of them have to be local? Well, the wrestling company had nothing to do with that. That was all the local station that did that. This basically was a barter. In other words, this entire show was a commercial.
Yes.
That's what this was a commercial to get you to come to wrestling. And the barter was that we gave it to the stations, and because of the numbers or the ratings we had, the stations were able to put in their commercials. And it was a trade-off of our commercial versus their commercial. That's what it was. It's changed so much, man. So
much. I mean, and now listen to this now. Let's track it here so you can hear the rundown.
Here's the big commercial.
$1 to general admission. Tickets are available at the Coliseum and, of course, at all Ticketmaster locations. Opening match of the night, Speedy Tall Tree will be going against Mark Batten. Mark's brother, Brad, will be in there then, going against the big guy, Iron Mike Sharp, in the next match of the evening. Then comes a tag team match. Nick Patrick, David Haskins teaming up to go against Randy Rose and Randy Rose's partner, Chick Donovan. That's the first tag team match of the night. There'll be more later on. Then it'll be Mr. Wrestling and Mr. X going against Ted and Jerry Oates, and still another tag team match. In more wrestling action, we will have Steve Constant and Tim Ashley. Boy, they look good here today. They'll be going against Doug Summers and Jerry Bryant. Then it'll be Jerry Oski against Lanny Poffo in a single match. Following that, Bobby Colt steps into the ring against Austin Idol. Then it'll be Tommy Wildfire Rich against the Moondog. That's not all. Return AWA Southern Tag Team title match coming up. The PYT Express and the Fabulous Ones, both tag teams in the ring. One of them trying to take away the Southern Tag Team titles. Then, in that grudge match that we've been talking about, in this one, the King, Jerry Lawler, going against the Macho Man, Randy Savage. It's all Monday night. Regular prices will be in effect at the Mid-South Coliseum.
You got to repeat that, David. Regular prices?
Regular prices are in effect. Children under 10 admitted to general admission for $1.
10? Hey.
Don't tell me nothing like that.
Come on, hey. Come on, hey, come on, Savage. Come on, Newman, get this guy out of here. Hey, listen, come on.
Get out of the way. Come on, man. What's you two? Get away.
Come on, Randy. Get this crazy guy out of here now. Come on, Tux.
Get away from me. You got a match, man. You got a match. Boss, they're going to suspend you, Randy.
What? You got that right.
You got a match.
Randy Savage is freaking out here. Lance Russell is off camera. He just wrestled the mic away from Lance.
Don't touch me right now. You ready to stand back? Get that thing in on me right now. Eddie Marlin, you stay away from me right now. I'll make sure nobody wrestles again. Forever young. Jerry Lawler, I want you to understand one thing right now. Stay away from me right now. You're talking forever young, baby. You're talking forever young. Monday night in the Mid-South Coliseum. You come on down
and you bring your forever young. And I promise you one thing. I promise you that you won't walk out of there alive. You understand that? You understand that, Jerry Jerk? Get away from me too, baby. I'll bust you too. Get Lawler.
So they're going to commercial. It felt unpredictable. Wow. It was crazy. It was good though. And by the way, the reason he kept referencing Forever Young, we dropped the audio, but the music video for Jerry Lawler, the package that ran right before, was to the song Forever Young.
Right.
So that's the reason he keeps coming out and mentioning it. Now we've got Tex Newman and his 75th appearance on this program out here with the PYTs, one half of which is Coco Beware. Let's track Tex here.
American Tag Team Champions, Southern Tag Team Champions. You know what that means to me? After only 7 weeks, and after only a few weeks of managing these men, they have done the impossible. They have beaten the fabulous ones, and they are the champions. Tell us.
They did, in fact.
Well, Lance, why don't you congratulate us, because we are the champions. We ain't found a team yet that can beat us. And we told Steve and Stan that we would drop them just like with yesterday's garbage, and we did so. So, baby, they want a rematch. So anywhere, any place, and any time, we'll be ready. We'll be ready for you guys, baby, because we're fired up. We're fired up, baby. And Steve and Stan, get ready, because we will be the champion from now on out, baby, because there's no team alive can beat the Pretty Young Thing Express.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Let's show the people the night it happened. Fair and
For
square.
those who were not here it is. PYT and the Fabulous Ones.
Stan Lane's trying to come in to save it. He got the count of 3.
Count of 1, 2, 3.
That's it. We won! We won! We are the champions!
If we do what we said we
won
were going
the
to do.
Southern Tag Belts. There's no question about that.
Why are you so disgusted about that? You should be happy. You should be happy. We did it fair. We did it square. We did it right down the middle of the ring. We pinned them, and that's all there is to it. They're history. Stan and Steve, you are history. Pack your bags. Leave this out.
Where they're at?
Go
Hide
anywhere.
behind Jackie Fargo. That's where they're at now. You want to take on her?
We gave you your moment.
That's
Hop
right.
to the ring. You
We
got a match
we're
coming
the
up.
champions, baby.
We are the
That's right, but we can back it up.
Okay,
Whatever
David.
we do, we can back. Whatever we do.
We're ready for the action in the ring.
Tony, I know that
going-
you don't love studio wrestling or think it would work, but I really like this. And I hope that we get to see something like this again. And I understand what you said about television networks don't want this, but even if you guys did, or any promotion, like I want the studio show again. And I know that the NWA is doing some of that stuff, but I'd like for more folks to adopt this, because this wasn't unique to just Memphis. I mean, it happened in Memphis. It happened in Crockett. I mean, studio
Everywhere,
wrestling was around the country. And I don't know, it feels like this would be a great format, and I hope that somebody dusts it off, and it doesn't just have to be something from yesteryear. Speaking of yesteryear, I want to plug it again. The National Wrestling Hall of Fame, the induction weekend is July 20th to July 22nd. Tickets are on sale now at nwhof.com. Seriously, it is a great value. You're getting dinners and the Hall of Fame banquets and wrestling shows and silent auctions and meet and greets. And it is a full slate, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. There's stuff going on every single day. Tickets are on sale now. nwhof.org. Just $130, but it's a who's who, man. J.J. Dillon, Jerry Briscoe, Joe Malenko, Wes Briscoe, Colt Cabana, Marty Jannetty, Rock Riddle, Bob Roop, Demolition Axe, Demolition Smash, Ken Patera, James Beard, Thunderbolt Patterson, Bill DeMott, Haku, Les Thatcher, Ross Hart, Baron Von Raschke, Tommy Rich, JBL, Sin Bodie, Rick McCord, John Nord, Jim Miller, Dan Gable, Tom Burke. They're all there.
And
myself.
Conrad Thompson. If you see, look on the video, if you're watching on YouTube right now, on the screen, right below the L in Hall of Fame, look at that smiling face of Conrad Thompson. Well deserved. Hey. Let's hear
how
it.
about I'm flanked by JBL and Haku? I'm going to be okay. I got my own protection there. So anyway, I'd love to see you guys there. I'll be there hanging out all weekend. So will all my friends and fam. Love to see you there and support this. By the way, tons of great wrestling memorabilia if you've never been there. Lots of great artifacts and things for you to look at. I'm excited to check out the actual building and all the stuff that they have there, in addition to all the events. And I think there's like a podcast or a round table. I think Colt's going to do a live show, and there's meet and greets. nwhof.org. That's where I'll be July 20th through the 22nd.
And where's it going to be again?
Waterloo, Iowa. I'm flying into Cedar Rapids, about an hour car ride from there.
Iowa, obviously, tradition in amateur wrestling, obviously, as well as pro wrestling. By the way, this is Tracy Smothers taking that bump.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. One thing I noticed here, and I guess it happened all the time, a lot of shouting on interviews.
That was the 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah, man.
And let me tell you another thing.
Everybody shouted.
Yes. Even Flair.
Yeah, of course. Even Arn, even Tully at the desk. They always talked loud.
Well, you know something, Mean Gene.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else.
Yep, everybody shouted.
Hey, let's do some questions here. I want to give a shout out to Eddie2003 on Twitter. He says, Tony, how well did you know Lance Russell?
Worked with him in WCW when I returned. Gentleman, wonderful guy, pro. He was actually in charge of the 900 number for WCW.
The whole time or just for a period of time?
For a period of time.
Okay.
During the Jim Herd era.
Nick Lenz wants to know, Tony, what was the first time you met Macho Man Randy Savage? Also for Conrad, did you get a chance to meet Randy before he passed away? I did not. I would have loved to. One of my all-time favorites. What was your first meeting with him? Would that have been on the WWF?
Yeah, it was WWF, and I bring up the story to many wrestlers a lot today. When I'm trying to gather wrestlers getting ready for their promo.
Right.
And what we try to do is let them know as early as we can, by the way, we need you on camera for a pre-tape or just you in front of the camera for a package that we're building. And sometimes it's not easy to get these guys because there's so many places they can go. They can go to catering. They can go in the men's locker room. They can go sit in the stands. They can go in the ring and do some work. It's not easy to find them, and sometimes I try to text them. And the story I always bring to all of them, especially because I'll get on them sometimes, I'll say, let me tell you a story about a man who was always ready. And that's the Macho Man Randy Savage. And I say this story and I give it to examples today. He was the ultimate professional. And what happened was, I may have told this story on our podcast before. When he arrived at the building at call time, he was always there for call time. The first thing the Macho Man did was get ready. He would get dressed, his cape, his tights, everything, and he would go to catering dressed. He would sit in the locker room because we didn't have, individual private locker rooms back then. Hogan may have had it. I'm not so sure. And he would always be ready. That was the ultimate professional to me. Be ready to do your work when you got there. And I bring that up to him all the time. So that's when I met him. And that, a lasting impression on me. Really did.
Well said, Tony. Let's do another question here. Actually, this is more of a comment. Tony Schiavone's regular size seat. Of course, he changed his name because he had something about booster seat before and he got upset. He says, Tony, I changed my name on Twitter and your podcast saved me during an incredible time of awful depression during the pandemic. Considering that you hate baseball, wrestling, and Diet Mellow Yellow all the same, Tony, you have no idea how much you and Lois are loved. He is a super fan, and I think when it said booster seat, you got a little annoyed, but he's a super fan, and we're a fan of these commercials. Let's track it here.
Forecast says rain when you're working the dirt. Got to get this field plowed before the ground turns to mud. And you're feeling the hurt. No time for a headache. That's why I always keep a BC powder in my pocket. That's the time to take BC. I've tried other headache powders, but nothing gets me back to work faster than BC. When the pain keeps growing, but you gotta keep going. I gotta keep going. That's the time to take BC.
When you gotta keep going.
Over 200,000 people just like you have taken advantage of Champion TV's Easy Rent to Own plan. Maybe because Champion gave away over $50,000 cash last year, plus thousands of dollars in merchandise. Maybe it's because Champion treats our customers right. Maybe it's because Champion has top quality products that you can rent to own hassle-free. This year we'll be giving away even more money. Call Champion now and find out how you can be a part of winning the Champion way. Champion makes it easy to own.
You get a free t-shirt when you rent. She's on roller skates.
Please, I'm on my way to Grandma's. Hey, how about some low-fat cottage cheese? Maybe a Diet Cola? Well, I was saving this for myself, but... Hold up for the out of the ordinary.
My God, a werewolf drank a Dr. Pepper.
Mama warned me about wolves.
Hold out for
Christmas,
Dr.
this time of
Pepper.
year, why not? Don't laugh. It could happen to you at Memphis AMC Jeep Renault, your credit connection. If you've had trouble financing a new car, listen, bad credit, slow credit, no credit, the Credit Connection can help. Come to Memphis AMC Jeep Renault. Pick out the car you really want. The Credit Connection could help you. Remember, there's only one Credit Connection, and it's right here at Memphis AMC Jeep Renault, $3254 Presley. Give them a call. They can help. That Christmas number is 345-1115.
It's April. They're talking about Christmas now.
Here they come.
Oh, your boys.
The fabulous ones, Stan Lane and Steve Kern. Well, we just witnessed a devastating bit of power by the PYT as they destroyed the two young guys who were in there with Steve.
You know, all I want to say, Lance, is, you know, it's hard to come out here and talk after losing the Southern Tag Team titles. But you didn't see much of the match on that film that I just watched. You didn't see the end results. All you saw was just a little piece of it. And I can't come out here and I can't talk big about what happened because, first of all, people don't ask how you lost. They don't ask where you lost. They just ask about you losing. Well, we've obviously lost because we don't have the titles. Now, our history speaks for itself, obviously, by what Jackie Fargo has done. And we owe that man our total wrestling career. And when you have to go back to Jackie Fargo and you have to explain to him, well, the belts are gone. You know, what can I say, Jackie? What can I get down and tell you about how we lost them? Except for that they're gone and they're not coming back just by any reversal of a decision by a referee. Jackie says, tell me something, son. Is this the first time you've lost? I said, no. Will you ever lose again? I said, it's possible. So then get your chin up off that ground, boy, because let's start talking about teams. What happened to the Moondogs when they came in? They beat you. You came back. You're the only team in professional wrestling right now that holds a win over the Road Warriors. You've also beaten Jack and Jerry Briscoe, who are brothers, who one time held the NWA World Wrestling belt by himself, Jack Briscoe, 3 times.
All right, Lord bless him. Steve Kern's trying to do his thing here. What'd you think of the fabulous ones, Tony? I mean, we got Stan Lane, who we know as part of the Midnight Express eventually, and then Steve Kern, legendary in-ring performers. The fabulous ones, I don't think ever really enjoyed the same success outside of Memphis that they did here. But if you were in that area, man, they just loved you. Just like they loved the Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express, and so many great tag teams came through Memphis. Where do you rank the fabulous ones?
They were a great regional tag team, I think. I like the look. You know, they almost like Chippendale Dancer look. You know, right, with the bow ties on. I like the look. I thought it was pretty cool. Obviously, Steve Kern was not good at doing a promo. Yeah, Stan Lane made his name, obviously, the Midnight Express.
Yeah.
You know. I like how he said, they don't ask you why you lost. They don't ask you how you lost. They just ask you about your loss. Well, okay, whatever. But it was a good look. I mean, the blonde mullets, right, and the darker beards. It was a very, very cool look. but they never did make it big. And Stan obviously made it big with the Midnight Express, but
yeah, Steve Crane was the Skinner, by God. Don't you get him disparage the good goddamn name of Skinner. Hey, David the Dead wants to know, if Tony were to apply tanning lotion to the Fabulous Ones, would he rather lather up Steve or Stan first, and why? So who you lathering first?
Oh God. Jesus.
Come on, Tony, give us an answer. Now.
Take that question and burn it.
Hey, so listen, I forgot to tell you this, but the other night, GCW was in Huntsville. And so, our friend Scott Hyatt, who now I guess works behind the scenes with AEW, helping with some travel and things. Once upon a time, he was like a GCW super fan, and this was, I guess, his next to last show. He's going to go check out Nick Wayne and his last GCW show before he makes his AEW debut. And he came down to Huntsville, an excuse to come hang out with me, and he's good friends with a couple of GCW performers, Jordan Matthews and Nick Gage. You know Nick, right?
Sure do.
So Scott hits me up and says, hey, man, where are you guys hanging out? And I said, dude, I'm icing the foot. I'm at the house. And he goes, cool if I come by? And I go, yeah. He goes, I got a couple of friends with me. I go, dude, you know the deal. Come on. So in walks Nick Gage into the house with Jordan Matthews. And Nick had woken up early that morning, worked a long night the night before, woke up early that morning, drove straight 8 hours straight through from Chicago into Huntsville, and then worked a match on very little sleep. And now he's fading fast. And I don't recognize this right away. But once I see him sort of doze off, he's in a seat next to me. He sort of puts his head down and he's catching him a little shut eye for a few minutes. I offered him a beer. I'm a good host. So as soon as he comes in, I'm like, hey, man, you guys want a beer or something? Pass out a couple of Miller Lights. And a few minutes later, old Nick Gage is snoozing. And so at this point, I've got my happy band of idiots, my group of friends who you might expect are in town for Top Guy Weekend. And you know where I'm going with this. Everything's totally quiet. We're watching some replay of AEW or whatever was on TV that night. And I said, so Nick, we've all answered. And everybody in my crew just immediately starts laughing. And so I wake Nick up and he goes, oh, what's that? And I go, yeah, we've all answered. Now, we'll tell you our answer after you give your answer, but you've got to answer first. We've all answered. He goes, okay, I got it. I said, all right, would you rather do the first 90% of a blowjob or the last 10%? And he goes, what's up? And I said, yeah, would you rather do the first 90 or the last 10? He goes, okay, let's see. Blowjobs, man, I like the finish. I like the finish. The finish is my favorite part. And I go, fucking A, man, there you go. And he goes, how'd I do, Conrad? Did I do the right answer? Is that the right answer? I go, man, that's my answer. And I gave him the knuckles. And Jordan from across the living room says, now, Nick, in this particular circumstance, you're the one giving the blowjob. Wait, what the fuck did you say? Oh. Yeah, in this scenario, you're the one doing the blowjob. Yo, Conrad, what kind of fucking questions are you asking me? Man, I'm asleep over here. I woke up and drove all the way here and wrestled, and now you're talking about putting dicks in my mouth? I ain't putting no dicks in my mouth, bro. Like, what the fuck kind of question is this? It was one of the funniest exchanges in the history of my living room. Like, just this peanut gallery, seeing this question evolve. And then, as luck would have it, I'm hanging out with Lash LaRue, who I think is going to be stepping back between the ropes again pretty soon. And I asked him the same thing. Now, that gets even funnier because we all know Nick's story. Lash LaRue works in the ministry now, and I'm an awful person. So I asked him, and he had a similar reaction. Wait, what now? What are you asking me? So there you go, Tony. I know Lash LaRue's answer, and I know Nick Gage's answer. So now I ask you, Tony Schiavone, would you rather, and you've got to answer, we've all answered, would you rather do the first 90% of a beach or the last 10%?
The first 90%.
You want to spend a lot of time down there.
Well, there's no right answer here.
Well, there is. There is a right answer. And I kind of thought you might go option C, let me get the last 90%.
Okay.
Because I know how much you like that sort of thing.
Okay.
So we're seeing some more commercials here. We got lots of questions about commercials. Michael Eldridge wants to know, what are some of Tony and Conrad's favorite commercials during the time period? And if Tony could have done commentary for another territory other than JCP or WWF, which territory would he have liked to work and why?
Well, I can answer that with the territory. I would have liked to worked down in Texas for the Von Erichs. I think that would have been very cool to do that. Well, Bill Mercer was a fine announcer. I'm not saying that I thought I could replace him, but that would have been one territory to be able to work because they had some good stuff, man.
They put mushrooms on that Burger King commercial right there.
Wow. All right. Yeah, that's... And as far as my favorite commercial back in the 80s concerned, man, it's hard for me to remember some of the national commercials. I guess, to me, my favorite was, and I think it was everybody's favorite, Less Filling, Great Taste.
What about the old, where's the beef?
Yeah, that was good too. But, they always had these athletes get in, great taste, less filling, great, they even had Billy Martin and George Steinbrenner do it. That was good stuff back then. That was my favorite commercial. Well, there's another rent-to-own commercial. How about that?
Another one. Yambag Jones wants to know, who on AEW's roster would do the best furniture rental spot and why? I'd love to hear Taz do one.
Eddie Kingston would.
Oh, I love it. The idea of, you know what? We might have to stage that. Here's what we're going to do. Next time we all hang out together, me and you and Eddie, we're going to get Dave Silva to tag along, and we're going to a furniture store, and we're going to have Eddie cut a promo, just walking around, and we'll slide it in as if it's one of our commercials here. Let's listen to the hard sell here to close the show.
Wrestling will be there at the high school. 7:30 is wrestling time. Constant and Ashley will be there. PYT, the Batten Twins, all of them in Palestine tonight. Tomorrow, Cape Girardeau, Missouri for championship wrestling action. 7 o'clock tomorrow night in Cape Girardeau. The Fabulous Ones are headlining a super all-star card in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Next Saturday night, the 27th, Jonesboro, Arkansas. Tickets are available, and the box office will be open next Saturday at 3 o'clock, so you can buy your tickets in advance. That's in Jonesboro 1 week from tonight. Then, coming up on Friday night, May 3rd, Blytheville, Arkansas, at the American Legion Arena. The King will be there. Constant and Ashley, all of them in Blytheville, Arkansas, Friday, May 3rd. Same night, Greenfield, Tennessee at the high school. Saturday, May 4th in Hohenwald, Tennessee for championship wrestling. Sunday night the 5th, Jackson, Tennessee. Friday night the 10th, Brownsville, Tennessee. Saturday the 11th in Batesville, Mississippi. Tuesday the 14th, Monad, Arkansas. And on Friday, May 24th, championship wrestling in Waverly, Tennessee. Don't forget, tonight, Palestine, Arkansas, big action over there.
When was the last time you took the family out to wrestling action? Let me tell you, friend, it is hotter right now than it ever has been. Make it a point. This coming week, catch one of those dates. We're going to be back with a final word from Championship Wrestling in just a moment.
They're taking their last break. This sounds like a good opportunity for us to remind you the best way to enjoy the show is on YouTube. It's WHW on YouTube.com. Love to have you hit that subscribe button and be sure to throw us some comments down there as well. All of that helps. And the easiest way to support the show out in public is rocking some merch from LoisRules.com. We see these pop up every now and again on TV, and it still tickles Tony and I, and certainly Lois. Check it out, LoisRules.com. Lots of fun, silly stuff over there. Also love to have your feedback on social media. Well, I would. He is at Tony Schiavone 24. I am at Hey, it's Conrad. And our show is at WHW Monday on Twitter and Facebook, at WHW Podcast on Instagram. And you get all these shows early and ad-free. You can even be a part of our live studio audience over at adfreeshows.com. We just posted a fantastic conversation with Dirty Dick Cheatham. We really talked about the finances of Turner and WCW and how it all came to be. A fascinating conversation you can't get anywhere else, all exclusively now over at adfreeshows.com. Want to also shout out everybody who showed up early on a Sunday morning for us today. Josh Fields and Coach Rosie and Bobby and just everybody from Lucas who donated $10,000 to St. Jude's and so many others. Thank you guys for showing up and showing out for us. Yambag Jones is here and Keith Morrison and so many of you guys showing up. I greatly appreciate that. I know it means a lot to Tony and myself. This was fun, man. I love watching old school Memphis, but I got to tell you, one of my favorite parts is seeing like fried catfish commercials from Church's Chicken. What a different time this was.
It was, yeah, the commercial is really what makes this so great. And it's not that, and again, the wrestling show itself is a commercial, but
yes,
I mean, this brings you back, and nostalgia is why I've got a job right now. So I love this commercial. This bottle's sucking up all those weeds. Yeah, it's wonderful. I would rather watch this than, well, I say that, and you and I just recently, by the way, if you're a subscriber to WHW Monday, one of our bonus shows for the month of June was watching John Cena and JBL in the I Quit match.
For 2005 Judgment Day, just a bloodbath. Yeah. It was something else, man.
Yeah, it was. So what I'm saying is I love watching that as well as this old stuff. I love watching the stuff that I missed in the 18 years that I was out of wrestling. And as that's being said, we had a question that was popped up earlier. I think it was from Tony Schiavone, regular size seat. We appreciate the comments that we helped you through the pandemic and through the depression. But I don't hate wrestling. He says, I know Tony hates wrestling and Tony hates baseball. I don't hate either one. I'm baseballed out. I love wrestling more than I've ever loved it before because I'm a part of it on many levels. So don't misinterpret anything I'm saying that I hate baseball and hate wrestling. I just choose not to watch baseball because I've seen enough. I saw 144 baseball games for 11 straight years. 144 baseball games.
That's a lot of baseball games.
My God. And before that, in the 7 years before that, I saw 144 baseball games plus playoffs. So you're looking at 18 years of doing baseball. And so I'm baseballed out. I will see many more baseball games than I will ever see wrestling matches in my life. I can tell you that. So I don't hate it. I'm not a hater. There are people out there on social media that are haters. It ain't me. And by the way, go to the Mid-South Coliseum for the main event.
Let's listen.
They always ran Mondays. And that's a pretty big main event right there.
Well, let's listen to the audio here, Silva.
The Macho Man, Randy Savage, and the King. He could not even wait. After the Bockwinkel bout last Monday night, Lawler had to come out there, and you can see it caught the cameraman by surprise. Lawler comes flying across there and slams Savage. He is not only ready, he is intense, my friend. And I've heard Savage use that word before. That crazy fool is going to be in for a battle like he has never seen when the King comes back. Make no bones about it, brother. It's going to happen. I'm going to be there. You bring the family and be there, too. Dave, I believe I have talked us flat out of time. That's okay. We had a great show. See you next week for Dave Brown, Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
Boy, that's how you do it. That's how you sell tickets, man.
That's
how
right.
Great was
bye-bye, everybody. Then Lance does this.
It's so good.
God bless Lance Russell, man. Is he in the WWE Hall of Fame?
I'm sure he is. I think he went in with
I don't think he is.
I think he went in with like 100 other people. I don't think he got like the traditional deal.
Jesus Christ, what is wrong with them?
What do you mean?
What is fucking wrong with them?
He's in the National Wrestling Hall of Fame with me.
Well, there you go. He belongs there. He belongs in all of them.
No, you know what? He's in the USWA Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Good.
That's the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame from 1994. He's in the NWA Hall of Fame from 2006. He's in the Cauliflower Alley Club Hall of Fame. He's in the NWA Wrestling Legends Hall of Heroes Hall of Fame, 2009. He's in the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame, class of 96. So lots of different accolades thrown his way, but you're right. You are correct. I don't believe he actually is in the WWE Hall of Fame. We gotta correct that.
Yeah,
definitely got to correct that. But Tony, right now it looks like it's about that time.
Cody Rhodes, Conrad Thompson, Hall of Fame. Cody Rhodes, Nick Gage. Don't put dicks in his mouth.
Not on purpose.
He'll bust you with a light tube over your head, and you won't sell it.
Cody
Conrad
Rhodes.
Thompson
Cody
in the
Rhodes.
beach.
Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Yeah. Great American Nightmare. Yeah. The Great American Nightmare. Better be aware, better be afraid, better watch out when Cody Rhodes is coming to play. He's gonna wrestle in town, and if he comes to the show, then he's gonna know that he's gonna be the man when he goes. He's the new champion, and he's gonna beat Roman Reigns. He don't have to fear. He's gonna be the Great American Nightmare. Yeah, and he don't even scare, cause he's the Great American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Yeah. Great American Nightmare. Yeah. The Great American
Shout
Nightmare.
out to Logan Cooper. Keep doing the damn thing. And we will see you guys next week, right here on What Happened When.
He's gonna know that he's gonna be the man when he goes. He's the new champion, and he's gonna beat Roman Reigns. He don't have to fear. He's gonna be the Great American Nightmare. Yeah.
Hey guys, Eric Bischoff here, and just want to call a quick timeout. I want to tell your listeners about what I've been telling everybody at over at 83 Weeks, quite a while now, about all the cool things that are happening over at adfreeshows.com.
On a new edition of The Insiders, Conrad sits down with former Turner finance executive Dirty Dick Cheatham, talking about the internal war between WCW and Turner and the Monday Night War with the WWF.
And my assistant said, "Hey, you're not going to believe who's down there." I said, "Who?" She says, "China's down there." And I said, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And I went over to her window and looked outside. Did all of the exits down there. Get the camera. so we went down there, and of course, the exit back was down there in the fight with security.
On a bonus episode of My World, Double J watches back his tag team championship match against FTR and breaks down the hilarious Briscoe farm skit that preceded it.
And they said, "Can y'all be in the background talking?" And the four of us are down there, really just all four of us. But Lethal and Sanjay, I said, "We got to start being silly." I just started strumming the guitar, and Sanjay started bouncing that baby, and Sanjay and him started doing the do. I think this is, I don't know, it's the funniest, but I still think it's
hilarious.
It's a complete ad lib, but it played to, the line he said, "Them clowns," and we're down there dancing.
Perfect. Perfect.
That's just a small taste of what we've got waiting for you with 4 levels to choose from. See for yourself why ad-free shows is the best value in wrestling today. Sign up now at adfreeshows.com.